Hello and welcome. This is Michele Christensen of One Noteworthy Life, and this is a Plan With Me video for October of 2019. I'm using OneNote for Windows 10, and I'm going to show you how I evaluate the past month and set new goals for the upcoming month. As usual, I have already done the bulk of the thinking and reflecting work ahead of time, and I'm going to give you a concise walkthrough of what I've done. And the reason I do this is because I do take actually some time to kind of really think about things and make good decisions. And then when I present it to you, I like to be able to do like a nice concise walkthrough. And also there's not much in the way of OneNote tutorials. These pages are all pretty simple. So the first thing I do is I start with a review of my prior month's goals. So these are September's goals for my YouTube channel and blog, which is One Noteworthy Life. So I had 3 goals for this month. One was to follow my editorial schedule. I come close most months, but I don't actually hit all of the editorial goals I set for myself. So I want to just practice doing better with that, maybe making smaller editorial goals and hitting it more often. So I did good in September, but I didn't quite hit it. So this is going to be kind of an ongoing goal for the next few months until I regularly hit that goal of making all the points on my editorial calendar. Now, I did have 2 other goals this month. So the first one was getting the tech setup finished so that I can resume my monthly live video chat, which is called the Take Note Chat. That got postponed, which I'll get into in a minute. And I also had a goal to do some updates on my site, which also got postponed. And so the reason they got postponed is because I ended up buying an iPad. And this is something that I've been wanting for a while, but I wanted to take my time and really make sure I made a good choice. Up until now, I've used exclusively PC and Android, but OneNote works a little bit differently on the iPad. And so I wanted to start learning about that and being able to make videos and answer questions about that. So I did know it was something I was going to do, and I had begun doing some research and thinking about which model I wanted and accessories and that kind of thing. And I came across a really good deal, and I just didn't want to pass it up. So I jumped onto it, and I made it happen. This is where kind of doing that goal setting and planning really came in handy, because I knew exactly what I needed to set aside to do that. It was these other 2 goals of getting my tech setup for the Take Note Chat done and the site updates. There was also some great validation for the theme I've been working on this year, which is Be Ready. And there's a link to the playlist for this in the description of this video, but in a nutshell, I want to just be more ready for whatever life brings my way, whether it's unexpected emergencies, unexpected opportunities, whatever. I just want to be more ready and more responsive, and this was a perfect example. I just felt great that I was able to respond to this when it happened. So I suppose that passes for a launch announcement. Look for upcoming videos using OneNote on the iPad, and I also started a new Facebook group specifically for using OneNote on the iPad. So if you're interested in that, go head over and join that. There'll be a link in the description. So now for personal goals. One of the first goals I set every month is for a calorie goal. And this figure, 370, is how much I undereat by each day. It's not how much I eat in total. I currently weigh more than I think is healthy for myself, so I'm working to drop that extra weight. And I do that by making sure I undereat a little bit every day. And if you know anything about how calories work, or calorie math, I should say, I should be losing weight at this level, and I'm really not. So I'm going to continue to increase this until the weight starts coming off nice and slow. And I think the reason I'm not dropping any weight is because my calorie tracker is overcounting my activity. So no big deal. I'll get to it. It'll work eventually. I just have to keep at it. So my next area of focus is on this theme of Be Ready. And this is my theme for 2019 and probably beyond, because I have a long list of areas I want to focus on. I've only gotten to the first handful. Up until this month, I've been working on my postal mail and paperwork, which is something that I really dislike handling, and it tends to pile up. So I've been working on doing that 10 minutes per day since about March, and it's worked out really well. I've gotten way on top of it, and I'm able to stay on top of it and know that there's nothing urgent in there that isn't taken care of. Sometime in September, I decided to let this go for now. I felt like I had too many competing deadlines I was trying to manage, and that I was on top of the incoming mail enough for my own comfort, and I wanted to refocus that effort on doing all of my daily habits regularly. And so that'll be a goal for October. And just as an aside, sometimes it's really challenging me for me to make a decision like that, to set a goal aside, because there's an internal dialogue that I have, like, okay, am I being undisciplined and just trying to shirk something that I really should be doing, but it's unpleasant? Or am I making a rational and sound choice based on what's best for me right now? And there's an element of being disciplined, which is great, but there's also an element of being flexible, which is also great. And so I think sometimes I tend to push forward with something beyond when it serves me. So I'm trying to be a little more flexible and a little bit more discerning when I try and make these decisions about whether to let something go or not. And it is okay to change course in the middle of a month or when you've set a goal, but I need to make sure that I'm making a choice that serves me well, and that I'm not avoiding or ducking something that would serve me better. So my next goal is on burnout. I have been experiencing some personal burnout, both kind of like short and long term. And I've been reading a book called Peak Performance. And if you haven't heard me talk about this, it's about performing and training at your top levels without burnout. And I did hit my goal this month. I wanted to finish all the chapters in the book. There is one more chapter, but it's more of an exercise. So I'm going to do that with the rest of the material in the book in this upcoming month, and then maybe take one more month for implementation. So the next goal I'm working on is, we have a sewer project. We are currently working with our local city to try and get something fixed. There's a problem with where our house connects with the city main in the street. And we're just running into all sorts of roadblocks trying to get it fixed, and we're dealing with multiple entities and stuff. And so I didn't really make any forward progress on that, because I kind of got to a stuck point and couldn't find another action to take, or the next action. So that's what I hope to do this month, is find something, what I can do next to drive this forward. I also want to do an East Coast trip. That's where the bulk of my family is, but I'm kind of waiting on getting the sewer stuff sorted out. And the last thing I wanted to point out is the circles you see in yellow and green. Those are tags. And the yellow means that I'm waiting. It's like a yellow light at a stoplight, and it means that I'm waiting on something, like I can't make progress on it. And the green means I've made progress, I'm just not finished. So the next section I like to do is called What Else? And this is just a free-form section that I use every month to make notes about things that happened, good, bad, or indifferent, that impacted how my month went. So one thought I had was, could I switch to quarterly goal planning? Is 10 a good number for a quarter? How many goals do I usually do in a month? And it's just something I'm playing around with. Another idea I had was to start batching videos. A lot of YouTube creators will batch create their videos, so they do all of their prep work one day, and then all their filming another day, all their editing another day. I have not done that up until now, because I get deep into something when I film a video, and I think it would be hard for me to have two things that I'm deep into at a time. But it's just an idea I want to toy with and see if I might be able to batch create videos. So a good thing that happened was I jumped onto the iPad purchase, and I just found this really good deal, and I jumped into it way before I was ready to do it. And given that I tend to be more methodical and kind of linear, like A before B before C, this is something I don't usually do, but I'm really happy I was able to do it. The other thing that happened in September was I sent a birthday gift way before it was due, way before the birthday came. I had to ship it. So that felt really awesome to have that off my plate and done early. And that's kind of under that be ready theme that I want. Those are the kinds of things I want to be doing ahead of time. And then I wanted to look at my September annual plan. And I've said this multiple times. I deliberately kept this year really light. I did not plan much this year when I was setting up my annual plan. And part of the reason for that is I feel like in general, I just take on way, way too much, whether it's a month, a year, a quarter, a day, whatever. And so this year I kept it light, and I'm kind of glad I did because a lot of things have come up and I've had space for them in my schedule, which has been nice. So in September, there was just one thing on the schedule, which was a family birthday, and that happened. It went off really well, so that was really fun. And then the last thing I want to show you is my September calendar. Let me scroll that a little bit. And like most of you, I use a calendar on my phone. I use Google Calendar, so I don't really need a calendar like this for appointments. And what I like to do is write down something good that happened each day, and sometimes I do a doodle or something. And then I just have like a fun thing to look back on with all the colors, and it gives me a chance to play with my pen and things like that. And for me, it really works well because it's tangible proof. It's very concrete that good things are happening. Like even when I have a bad day, I kind of force myself to look and find something good that happened. And so for me, that really works well to help me keep a positive attitude. So now it's time to set up October, and I'm going to start by looking at my October annual plan. And so again, this is what I thought I would be doing in October when I set up my annual plan at the beginning of the year. And we just have one family birthday this month. So that is scheduled, and I think it's going to be great. Then I set up my goals for my business, One Noteworthy Life. And these are the same as last month. I'm going to try and follow that editorial schedule. I want to get my text setup done for the Take Note chat, and I want to do updates to my site. And I also want to start hopefully getting some progress on that iPad and get some videos up on that. But that's a maybe. My personal goals for October, I bumped up that calorie goal to 390. And then for my Be Ready theme, I'm going to focus on doing, really pushing forward on doing my daily habits every day. I find that they really help me a lot with kind of keeping everything, all the plates spinning, everything in the, everything going, staying on top of things and that kind of thing. So I really want to focus on doing those. As far as burnout, I want to finish that peak performance book. Do all the supplemental material, and then I may take 1 month or even more to implement some things. And then the final 3 are the same. The sewer project, I want to find something to do to push that forward. I was kind of at a dead end. I want to book my East Coast trip as soon as I can, and then I want to, I didn't mention this one. We replaced our dishwasher in September. That was a holdover from October, but there's a few last details, like I need to reattach a baseboard and that kind of thing, so I do want to finish those off in October. And then finally is the October calendar, all ready to be filled in with fun stuff. So that's it. I am now all set up for October, and I'm going to end this plan with me as I usually do, which is to encourage you to try this process if you don't already do something like this. It's been hugely helpful to me in changing my life. And it may only be small changes each month, but over the course of 2 or 3 years, it really has begun to add up. So start however small or simply that you need to start just to get started. Even if you set one tiny little goal and some steps to make it happen, and then you review that at the end of the month, that's the beginning of a process. So if you have any questions or comments or something you want to see in more detail, leave a comment on this video and I will do my best to answer. If you like this video and you want to see more like this, as well as OneNote tutorials, please subscribe by hitting the subscribe button, and let me know you like this by hitting the like button. Thanks for watching and have a great day. Bye-bye.